everybody. Welcome to the Coffee Chat. I'm Andy Bozarth, Outreach and Advocacy Director for AARP Kansas, and it's good to be back here today. I'm joined by David Taylor, who is the owner of Dream Street Productions, and we're here to talk about what it's like to make I'm going to say midlife generously, a career change or a career change after 50. And we're talking a major shift from business world into creative endeavors. And we're going to talk about that and then what it's like to have the creative aspect of a job and how that influences your mental health and well-being. So, hi, David.
Hello, Andy. It's good to be here.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join me today. I think it's always a great topic to discuss job changes. It's been a very popular topic as we've had these coffee chats where people talk about shifting, making a major shift in their life after the age of 50. So you want to tell me a little bit about the kind of shift that you made in your life and in your job and in your career?
Sure. It was a major shift, but it also wasn't a major shift, which is how I think it goes for most people. I started out in the music business when I was in my 20s, and then that kind of wrapped up as I was coming up into my 30s. And I moved from Kansas, where I was living in my 20s and doing a lot of things in the music business. And I moved to Southern California in my late 20s, and then my 30s and all. With my wife, we lived there for 30 years, raised our family. During that time in Southern California, I never completely got out of the music business, but I knew at that time, okay, now I need a shift in how I'm earning income, raising a family, and all that. So I got more into the insurance world at that time. Never fully leaving the music business. I still dabbled in quite a few things in the music business while I was there. But for the most part, to raise a family, I got into insurance, worked that for about 20 to 25 years. And then as our kids moved out of the house while we were still in San Diego, my wife and I decided, okay, now it's empty nest. What would we like to do? It's a new phase. It's a new time in our life. As parents, you know how it is to dedicate so much of yourself to raising your kids. When that's kind of over, when they move on, it's time for a change, which is what we felt. So that led us back to Kansas and kind of a new career. As I said, it's more of a full circle for me as to what I'm doing right now. Where I was in music, I've always had a passion for that. I'm back doing music things, but that also led me to digital technology, which got me into making music videos. And from those music videos, that's how you and I reconnected, and how I'm also now doing projects for AARP and AARP Kansas that involves music and videos. A lot of digital technology with this change in technology. There's a lot of similarities. So it was interesting and a natural transition to go from digital music to digital video. And that's kind of the long story short of how I got here.
That's great information. I actually have a question from the audience, and somebody would like to know what your age now is.
Well, I'd be lying if I told you I was still 30, but I'm 61.
So that is from one of our regular viewers. That question came in. Again, I'm Andy Bozarth, Director of Outreach and Advocacy for AARP Kansas, and welcome to the Coffee Chat. If you have any questions, please feel free to put those into the chat box, and I know David would be happy to answer those for you. A young pup is what the comment is now. You're just a young pup. Speaking of a young pup, there's that old adage of it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. So, what is it that's motivating you and keeping your mind going around learning the new technology?
Well, it's an interesting question because there are aspects to what I do now in creating videos and creating music that haven't changed a bit. There are technological of how you go about executing, recording music and executing how you record a video and editing it where the technology has changed. So it's marriage of the two things, of the old philosophies that we learned in what I call the analog age before all the digital technology, and what you now have to learn on the digital age. And essentially the digital age is just it just makes things more efficient. um,
Mhm.
where you used to have to sit around and watch reels. We're all familiar with rewinding the VHS tapes, where you'd push the button and you'd listen to it whir, and sometimes the tape would even come off the spool.
Yes.
Now you don't have to do that. Now you have computers. You don't have to wait around. You don't have to worry about tape coming off. You don't have to worry about leaving your VHS tape in a hot car and it melts. Those
I
types of
remember
things.
that.
So the technology has made it more efficient, but it does take an effort to learn the new technologies. Where things haven't changed is you still have to have an artful eye of what it is I'm going to record or how I'm going to edit. That hasn't changed a bit. And I think that's where people of our age have a lot um, to share with the younger generation, is our perspective of pre-digital. There's a lot of solid foundation we have as a pre-digital generation, and some of that perspective that we've learned as a pre-digital generation. And I really enjoy that. So it makes learning the new technologies a little easier for me with that kind of mental perspective going into it.
That's great. And I'm going to put a shameless plug out here. David has been the producer and videographer. Well, I guess you didn't do the videography, but you merged the videos into a production for our AARP Friday night concerts that we have. So if you would like to see some of David's work, you can go to the AARP Kansas Facebook page or the AARP Kansas YouTube site. And all of the videos that we've done for the last year and a half, I think, are out there, and they're basically, it's a full library of work, and you can see the kind of job that David does. He is able, he you can see where he takes the digital age and merges it with the artistic creative aspects of the analog age. We've talked a little bit about that. And David, do you want to tell a little bit about the upcoming concert Friday that we have to celebrate Black History Month? You put together a great video. I have been previewing it. I'm
Oh,
telling
great.
you.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to feature some Kansas City artists, the Black Creatures, and we also had the Black Creatures last year. It's roughly a 30-minute video, and there's going to be interjections of some Q&A with the artist after the video, as well as we have some special guests that I think it's going to be a really fun and exciting show, very informative as well.
it is, and the Black Creatures is a great group. They will be featured Friday night on our concert at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. If you're interested in seeing or registering for that concert, go to the website that is scrolling down below. You can go to states.aarp.org/Kansas, and then /events dash KS, or just go to aarp.org/KS and it will take you to a link. Um, we've been doing this for a while now. I really appreciate all the work that David has done. So if you have a chance, please go out and see his work at AARP Kansas Facebook page or our YouTube page. David, do you have anything you'd like to add to the conversation?
As far as my body of work, no. Thank you for the nice compliments on that. I've enjoyed doing it. It's a lot of fun. With the program with Kansas AARP, I also want to give a big shout out to Kansas AARP that's been very supportive to the Kansas arts community. We've been doing this since May of 2020. So it's given me an opportunity to reconnect with the music scene in Kansas, which is a very thriving scene. There's a lot of festivals here, Winfield, Walnut Valley Festival. A lot of towns have their own festivals. There's a lot of talented musicians. We've also featured on our concert, not even more than just musicians. We've had spoken word artists. We have an artist coming up. I don't want to give away too much of the secret in April, who is not a musical performer, but I hope everybody tunes in for this artist in April.
Do you know the date of that?
I believe it's April the 11th.
I will have to look that up, and we check out our Facebook page for upcoming information. I should have prepped on that and gotten the date. So it is in April. It's the second Friday in April. So
right.
Whatever that date is.
Right. So it's kind of the beauty of the digital age video that AARP has been very supportive of. We've also done videos where we have featured people who provide gardening tips, yoga tips, which is kind of where, initially in our conversation, we were talking about the old and the new and what we can share at this age as AARP members. A lot of experience, and it's a rather efficient technology where everybody can record themselves so you can share it with the world, what your knowledge is, what your background is.
Yeah, and these are all really good activities, and people are interested in what other people are doing, and they're also interested in sharing their talents with the world at this point in time. And you've done a great job making that accessible and doing it in a well done way. So I think that is time for today. So thank you for joining us. And next week on Coffee Chat, we will be discussing with Diane Hall of the AARP Missouri office, Peace Corps. She spent 20 years in Peace Corps and she's going to talk about what it's like and what you can do if you're interested in joining Peace Corps as your second career. David, we have another comment. It says, very interesting. Good job, David. So thank you for joining us, and I'll talk to you next week.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.